ALPP has finally dropped their Q3 earnings report, and it seems the company has had an amazing quarter with net profitability of almost $2.5 million. And I wish that were true. I wish I could wholeheartedly say that this quarter was amazing for ALPP. However, I always aim for this channel to be no nonsense. So let me now explain why ALPP's third quarter was not as good as it seems. Hey value investors, how are you doing? My name is Stijn and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now let's get into it. For this video I want to take you guys through ALPP's third quarter 10Q or quarterly report. Together we'll find out why the earnings aren't as good as they seem. Please do not get scared by that abbreviation. A 10Q is just the name of a filing a company has to do. A 10Q is a quarterly report. We can see that revenue-wise, ALPP did $17 million for the third quarter, which is pretty good, especially compared to the same quarter last year. By the way, this row shows Q3 2021. This one shows Q3 2020. This allows us to easily compare the numbers for ALPP, which is great. Cost of revenue is the direct cost ALPP has to spend to gain their revenue. Think of costs associated with the inventory, raw materials, etc. We can see that the cost of revenue for this year is $13 million compared to $17 million in revenue, and last year those numbers were way closer together. $8.7 million in revenue and $7.4 million in cost of revenue. This immediately tells me that ALPP has become more efficient. They are able to generate more gross profit per the same amount of revenue compared to last year, which is just awesome. So we've now seen they've grown substantially in their revenue, in their gross profit margin, as well as their gross profit itself. Next, we see operating expenses, and these are all the indirect costs associated with ALPP. So these are the costs they cannot link directly with selling their products, but costs they do need to make. So great examples of these expenses are research and development, and general and administrative expenses. In total, the operating expenses come in at $6.1 million for the quarter. So now we take their gross profit and we gotta subtract their operating expenses from that number. And that results in an operating loss of almost $1.7 million. This means that ALPP was actually not that profitable. Don't get me wrong, according to the accounting rules we all agreed to, they were net profitable. But they didn't earn their profits by selling their products. They did not earn that profit organically. They earned that profit from some accounting magic. And this is that accounting magic. Other income. Other income is the part where companies often write down their profits and losses which cannot be attributed to their core business. Meaning investments they've made in other companies, loans they've given out or have to pay back, those kinds of things. And ALPP has happened to receive a huge forgiveness of debt. $4.3 million of debt has been wiped out for one reason or another. According to the CEO himself, they've received this debt forgiveness for their PPP loans, or loans received for the Paycheck Protection Program. So ALPP basically received a huge grant because during the pandemic they were able to keep all their employees and their compensation levels maintained. And that is the main reason why ALPP was profitable during the third quarter. Because without that grant, their net income wouldn't be $2.5 million. No, it would be a loss of $1.8 million instead. However, there were some notably good things too. Assets wise, ALPP was able to add $3 million to their war chest. During the second quarter of 2021, they had $94 million in assets. And during the third quarter, this number increased to $97 million, which is quite a solid gain for one quarter. Noteworthy is that the cash position basically halved over the quarter from $10 million to now $5 million in cash. But we can also see a noteworthy increase in property and equipment from $20 million in Q2 to $27 million in Q3. Remember, they've added $3 million to their assets quarter over quarter while keeping their total liabilities the same. So $47 million for Q3 and $47 million for Q2 as well. So to summarize, they've grown their assets with almost 5% while keeping their liabilities the same. Certainly not bad for a quarter. Additionally, ALPP is now finally trading on the Nasdaq. This should provide more liquidity in the shares of ALPP. And this will help the company with raising additional capital in the future if they so desire. And this should help us shareholders with getting a more fair price for our shares. Hopefully you now better understand why I am not that hyped about this quarter. Do not get me wrong, it was a good quarter. They have increased their efficiency notably and they have been adding tons of subsidiaries for quite a while now. It just wasn't a great quarter. I was hoping for more, and I think a lot of you guys were also hoping for more. We were hoping for organic profitability. And I'm still waiting for the day where ALPP will be profitable on all metrics, no matter how you twist the numbers. Of course, I am certain that day will come. Maybe not next quarter, but certainly the quarter after that. After all, ALPP is slowly climbing towards profitability, even with the supply chain issues slowing them down. Enough from me. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a like and maybe even subscribe. Comment down below what you want to talk about next, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.